All right. So we are now doing the pre-study orientation, and I am delighted to have you guys show up. I know we have one person at least who is not able to make it right now. So we're just going to move through all the things. And if she joins, great. If not, you guys will have all the info that you need to make this fantastic study and to get some good solutions for you guys. So here's what we're going to do. We're only going to be on for like 30 minutes. And that way we're not eating up your whole Sunday afternoon. And the basic idea is I'm just going to kind of introduce myself. Marcella's going to tell us a little bit about something that she had as a good experience. And then we're gonna walk through kind of like the basics of essential oils in case this is anybody's kind of like first exposure. And then we'll get into filling out the pre-study survey. Not calling it a form, it's called a survey. Which is a Google form, which I actually put in the email to you guys. So if you want to pop into that, that's great too. And then we'll go over each of the cute little packets that you guys received and how to use everything. And then I'll take some question and answer, and I'm really thinking it's gonna be pretty quick. So go ahead and if I do, I like a little bit of interaction. So if I ask a question and you're like, oh, I can't know the answer, go ahead and just unmute yourself and be like, lavender or like whatever thing, right? Because I do want to make it a little bit interactive. Okay, so I had already told you guys my name's Amanda, and we previously discussed that I have 5 kiddos. 2 of them are older, and then my 3 are like between 10 and 5, which are very fun ages, homeschool mom. And I have found a lot, just so many stories day after day. And now I get all sorts of great adventures with my kiddos. And I feel more and more empowered with essential oils as I teach them to also know how to handle things that come their way. Just, little itty bitty things as far as even getting along with each other. There's certain oils that are great for diffusing to help people kind of work through problems of all sorts of kinds. Of course, there's the bleeding ones and avoiding going to the ER and things like that, which I may tell you about later. Marcella, can you share really quick for us, a minute or 2 about your experience with essential oils?
Sure. So my name is Marcella. Like Amanda said, I have been using oils for a little over 2 years now, maybe close to 3, but most seriously for about 2.5 years. I got into oils because I have issues with, I don't know, how compliant do we have to be with during pollen season? That was the best way I heard it recently. So itchy eyes, runny nose, coughing, sneezing, those kinds of things when pollen is in the air. And I got into oils saying if oils will help me with these issues that I take over the counter meds for, I'm sold. And that was February of 2019. And I have not used over the counter medications for any of those symptoms since then. And it has been a real empowering experience for me, where I have learned to reach for natural solutions first. And it has really become my passion now, I think, to teach people to reach for natural solutions first themselves, to be empowered, to know, to have the education and to know what they have at their fingertips available, so that when they have any issues, they can reach for those natural solutions first.
So cool. Awesome. Well, and speaking of the education, about being able to help people know what they have at their fingertips. So that's what kind of this early little intro is all about. We just want to run through the very basics. So you should be able to leave this little session knowing 3 cool things about essential oils and the 3 ways to use them. And then we'll discuss like how you specifically are kind of like assigned to use them, so to speak, during the study. So the 3 cool things about essential oils is that they are 100% natural. They are, oh, you know what? Let me share my screen because that's kind of a fun one, right? Let me pop in. Okay, yeah, so they are 100% natural and safe. They are very effective, more effective than our traditional, or conventional medication. And then they're also super affordable. So here's the fun thing about essential oils. Because they are extracts from plants with amazing health benefits, they actually are more powerful than herbs. So a drop of peppermint, and that is the essential oil from Doterra, is the same as 28 cups of peppermint tea. And what's really cool is that because there's nothing added to them, it's just a pure essential oil. You're not going to have the side effects that you would have if you were using a medication, and there's no chance of addiction, which is really amazing also. So I would love if you guys were here, I would love to actually share a drop of peppermint, right there in your hand. I'd love to have you swipe it on the roof of your mouth. I'd love to have you like feel the energizing, the clear breathing, how it cools the body, how it relieves head tension. And to also just kind of get the sense of how powerful they are, how potent and pure they are. But at the same time, because they're so natural, you don't even really have to, worry about overdosing or things like that. So another thing that I feel like I want to bring up here is the CPTG, and that stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, which probably sounds like a mouthful, but the basic idea is that we go to the areas of the world where that particular plant grows in its ideal conditions. So instead of taking really great plant and putting it in a more like controlled environment, we really feel like you get better results, like better medicinal value from plants that have this process of growing in the right climate, in the right soil, and all those things, as God intended, so to speak. And so that we get a more powerful, potent kind of a result from those. And so when you go through all those and keep this purity standard without adding any other synthetics and things like that to it, then we call that CPTG, and it's a very, very high rating. You really don't find it on hardly anything, except the doTERRA stuff. And you'll even notice that it does list it right on the bottle, that it will even tell you that it's CPTG, and you can dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of liquid. So, so that is the first cool thing about essential oils. Now, I'm going to go ahead and ask for a volunteer here. Who can tell me the first cool thing about essential oils? Anyone? Anyone? First cool thing about essential oils? Marcella, you're raising your hand. Go ahead.
They're all natural?
Yes, they're all natural and they're safe. Yes. So I'm thinking that because you've already had experience, I'm going to skip giving you the little prize, but y'all pay attention, because I will be offering a prize for people who answer correctly. So there'll be lots of fun that way. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Marcel. I just noticed that you put the link so that people can see this paper. Thank you so much. Okay, so if you guys do go into the chat, you'll see that you can pull this up if you want to read it a little bit clearer or whatever. Marcella has shared that in the chat, so thank you. All right, back to sharing again. Okay, yep. So they're safe. Number 2 is they are effective, and part of the whole thing behind this is that when we look at our more conventional medical routes of how we take care of bacterial and virus, there's some downfalls with that. And the basic premise of this is that you have 2 things that are trying to attack a cell if you're having some sort of dis-ease or uncomfortableness or something like that. And the 2 things are the bacteria, which are attacking the outside of our cells, or a virus, which resides on the inside of the cells and kind of like causes problems from within. And you guys can probably answer this, right? If you go to the doctor and you have a bacterial infection, and what is it that they're going to give you for your bacterial infection? Anyone?
that an antibiotic?
Yes, perfect. You got it.
Mhm.
Yep. So for the antibiotics, they can give you a water-based medication, and it's going to be able to kind of obliterate the bacteria that's on the outside of the cell. But what happens to your gut health after you've had a lot of antibiotics?
It kind of, I want to say, eats away
Yes.
at your.
Yep, you're exactly right. Yep. Yeah, it destroys that positive good bacteria as well as the bad. Yep. So you got to do the probiotics and all that kind of, it's a little bit tricky. Yeah. Now, what happens if you go and you have a viral infection? I know this becomes a bigger question more recently because of, like some of my recent events, but in general for viruses, typically they don't really offer you an antibiotic, right? They usually just kind of tell you, just kind of go home and let it run its course, you rest a lot, that kind of thing. Most doctors will just say, let it do its thing and it'll die off. But what's cool is that oily cell membrane that's around your cell is easily permeated by the essential oils, oily cell membrane. And since oil and water don't mix, then a water-based antibiotic is never going to be able to permeate your cell enough to get the virus that's inside, which is why they don't work for viruses. But essential oils are able to go through that oily membrane, and so they are able to cause the apoptosis, so that virus, it gets obliterated. And what's really cool is that because they are so close to nature, it doesn't end up destroying your gut bacteria the way you would have had it destroyed if it was the antibiotic. So we love that. So we can definitely say that it's more effective than our modern approach to healthcare. And I also, well, actually, before I go on to the last one, tell me, what's the second cool thing about essential oils?
They are effective.
You're right. You've been listening. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some frankincense, which is so good for so many things.
Awesome.
I even have this fun little phrase about when in doubt, bring Frank out, because Frank is good for everything. We can even go to pubmed.gov. It has this whole crazy list of things that it's so good for. I typically think of it good for skin issues, good for mental clarity, good for wounds. I guess that's partly for skin stuff. But yes, and I'll make sure that we get you some info. Oh, by the way, guys, I forgot, and I have to tell you this later also, but I was supposed to put a little booklet inside you guys' kit, and I forgot, but that would have been someplace to be like, look up, frankincense and see what it's good for. So I neglected to send that to you guys. I'm sorry. We'll have to get it to you later, maybe when I send you guys your other little things. Okay. All right, so we had that it's safe, that it's effective, and the third cool thing about essential oils, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen one more time, is they are affordable. So when you take a look at the fact that $6.5 trillion a year is spent on global healthcare, this may actually be even more now that more recent events have gone on. But when you take a look at the fact that essential oils are just penny per dose, it really does end up saving you quite a bit. I'm going to tell you guys, actually, if so yeah, feel free to interact with me here again too. So if you, most of us have health insurance, and so when we go to the doctor, we have a copay. So who here can tell me what their copay is?
I don't have health insurance right now, so I pay whatever the doctor tells me to pay.
Out of pocket. Yes, right. Okay, so you can look at anywhere between like what, $80 to $180. I've come out with like a $120 bill, I think, before, when I didn't have insurance. Okay, what else for copays do you guys have going on?
I think it's like a $40 copay for me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Betty, what do you pay for your?
Well, we have really good insurance because it's a huge union. So anywhere from about $8 to $12, just depends on what the office visit is.
That's amazing. That's
So,
really, really
yeah.
good. Yeah. Okay.
They
Well,
call it Cadillac insurance. So
that's great. Well, I know occasionally I have somebody from Canada who tells me that they have the whole, like, you know, United Healthcare kind of thing going. And so they're like, I pay $0, I have no copays. And so that sounds like it's really, really cool. So we could take either 8 or 0. And we'll go with 0 to make it the numbers easy. Well, no, we can do it anyway. Go ahead and think this through. So say you have an ear infection that's really bothering you, and you take some time off of work, and you go in and you pay only $8 or 40 or 120 or whatever it may be. And then the doctor also says you have to have this prescription for this antibiotic, right? So then do you guys have like other copays for your prescriptions as well? I'm seeing heads nod. Yeah. Okay. So, so by the time it's all said and done, and you've gone through your 7 to 10 days of the antibiotic or whatever, then, well, and then you have to also go get your prebiotic. So what I do instead is, because I have lavender and I have tea tree oil in my home, I put a little bit of lavender oil in front of and behind of both ears. And I go to bed. And when I wake up in the morning, I do it again. And usually by that time, I can tell that I have run off whatever was starting to develop, and there's no more issue. There's no taking the day off of work. There's no whatever copay it was going to be, or prescription or whatever. And because I have 5 children, this has meant a lot, hundreds, thousands of dollars of savings for me, because I don't have to go anyplace before I can take care of 80% of all of my health issues right here in my home. So that's why it's very easy. I can very confidently say that essential oils are more affordable than the healthcare system, you know, that we typically go for. We can really, really save money with those natural solutions, especially because they're so gentle on our body. Like, they work with our cells, and they're just so pure and so potent. So quick highlight, since I mentioned lavender being calming for the mind, calming for the skin, and soothing. Lavender is also one of the ingredients in the things that you guys have got in your sweet little packages for sleep. So that's going to be fun when we get to the part talking about the Serenity and the ingredients in that. Oh, I think I forgot to mention about On Guard, about how it promotes healthy immune function, soothes irritated throat, and is very cleansing for the home or hands. Okay, I'm gonna let me stop here for a second. Just for fun, who can tell me what the 3 cool things are about essential oils? Go ahead, Lauren.
They're safe, effective, and affordable.
Fantastic. You get an A+ for sure. All right, we'll have to throw something else in there too. All right, perfect. Okay, so we are going to go on to the second main topic, which is 3 ways to use the Doterra essential oils. Now, this is not the same as any essential oils in the whole world. These are specifically the Doterra essential oils because we're including internal, right? We have aromatic, topical, and internal. And for the aromatic ones, you will want to know that, well, actually, how about this? Can you guys go ahead and do just a little something? Pinch your nose right up here, right where you feel like the bone having, yep, excellent, perfect. All right, so the area right under where you're pinching is called the olfactory nerve. So you can take your fingers down, since you look a little goofy. We're having lots of fun in this one, it's great. But the olfactory nerve, which is under there, is what is carrying all the signals from the essential oils to the limbic system in your brain, and therefore causing some very obvious effects on the rest of your body. And sometimes people think it's a little frou-frou when you say that essential oils are like having a legitimate, like obvious physiological effects on your body. But when you understand that, well, okay, so if you think about when you go to the dentist, for example, and they don't give you, well, I guess they give you a little shot to numb like one little thing. But if you're having something really big like a root canal, what do? Can you guys tell me what happens? Yeah, they have that like nose mag. Yep, I see you guys putting your hands up. Yeah. So that little nose breathing apparatus is going to give you that laughing gas, and in only 30 seconds it's going to start to have an effect on the rest of your body. And it does, it all connects there, right? So going through your lungs and then therefore to the other parts of your body. So so your whole body becomes very relaxed and doesn't notice pain, and possibly become euphoric and things like that. Now, essential oils work much the same way, although it's not the synthetic based kind of tricking your body kind of a thing. They are assisting your body, but it's through that olfactory nerve that we just pinched on our nose. So that's how it sends the signals there. So you guys go ahead, and this part you can do, right? You open up your little thingy-majiggy, and you guys actually do have a sample of the wild orange. So take out the one that says wild orange. It should look like this. And if you guys can see the wild orange one, and we're gonna go ahead and have you put a little drop in your hand. So if you unscrew the top, and then you'll notice that there's a little orifice reducer on it, right? It has a little plastic thing with a little hole in the middle. So the way that you're gonna do it to get the oil out is you're gonna upend it. And notice it's not coming out when you have it upside down. You have to little spank, right? You spank the bottom of the bottle for a minute. And then you have a little bit, you guys can kind of see how some little shiny in my hand, right? That's a little oil. And you're just gonna rub it around in the middle of your hand. You can breathe it in. You can put it on the back of your neck. You can rub it over your chest a little bit. Rub it on your wrist creases is another really good place for it. And then just take a minute to just breathe it in. I like to call this one the smile in a bottle, because wild orange is so great. Everybody just instantly cheers up, right, when you're smelling some of that wild orange. So that is some beautiful, chipper, cheerful kinds of things. In fact, I think they even have it on the thing here, right? So we find it energizing, invigorating, uplifting to the mood. So now we did sort of kind of apply it topically because it's on our skin, but mostly we're just using it aromatically to breathe it in. It positively affects the mood, cleanses airways, and opens them up. And you may also notice another interesting thing is, like, now that you have it kind of, rubbed, that little spot where you put it, can you see, is there anything there, or is it like greaseless and oil, like, right, there's nothing there, right? It's absorbed completely into your skin, like your body wants to eat it up. It would like drink it for breakfast if it could. It just, your body loves these essential oils. They work very, very, very well with all of the systems. Okay, oops, that's the wrong one. Oh no, I lost you. I found you again. Okay, so topically, this one's kind of fun too. Topically, we can also apply the oils directly to our skin. It's going to absorb really quickly into the bloodstream. This actually using the fractionated coconut oil here. So say specifically you fell while you were hiking and you got a bruise on your hip, and so you're all black and blue on your hip. You may not want the specific essential oils to go throughout your entire bloodstream the same way that we were talking about for, if you're having a root canal done, right? You want it to have the localized benefits. And so you're going to put it with some fractionated coconut oil, and that's going to help it stay in the tissues right where you apply it. So we have actually done that in our case. We are using the Vetiver Roller, which you guys can take out of your little bag if you like to. So we put Vetiver into this little roller, and it is now diluted with fractionated coconut oil. That means when you have this little roller bottle, and I have you put some on the bottom of your big toe and the bottoms of your feet, you're going to rub that in, and you're probably going to smell it. And I just was seeing Lauren do it. it's not super good smell, is it? It's like super earthy and you're like, meh, you know. All right, so it's not one that people are gonna rave about or like use as perfume, but it does really do some noticeable hefty help. But this is how we use it topically in its fractionated coconut oil base. And I feel like it's nice and easy to apply. And I'll tell you a little secret, Vetiver, when you get it from the bottle normally, is really, really thick viscosity. Like you feel like it's, you know, like you're waiting for the sap to drip in January. Like it's really, really thick. So having it in the roller bottle also makes it easier to apply because of that. So we have the aromatic, the topical, and who knows the third way? I know I only mentioned it once. Anyone know what the third way is to use essential oils? Marcella, you look like you know.
Internal.
Yes, very good. All right, internal use. And that is mostly by using it into or putting it into either a veggie cap, putting some in water, possibly putting some under your tongue. I do this with a couple of the things that I have. Now, you guys do have a sample of wild orange. If you would like to, and I would actually say I encourage you to, get yourselves a glass and put a drop, well, because you have to spank it through the orifice reducer, it may end up being 2 taps, but you could just do 1 tap too. But put a little bit in the bottom of your glass and then fill your glass with some water. Really surprising about how the flavor changes with just that itty bitty little bit of essential oil. And in addition to that, it has some very, very obvious health benefits. It's very cleansing to the urogenital tract. And I could get into all the things, right? But so lemon, similar to wild orange, is a great cleanser for the body, cleanser for the home. And you can see here with the little eye here, these are the ones that are safe to use internally. The breathe really is more for clear airways. The deep blue is really meant for topical use if you're having achy muscles and joints. But these other ones are the ones that can also be used internally as well. And frankincense is actually here, so that's really great. So promotes calm feelings, supports a healthy nervous system, helps cells perform optimally. All the really good things right there. Okay, so that is actually, I think, all we need to do for our insert oils in general. And you guys have already had a little bit of I guess 2 of the things that we have talked about so far have made it into our basics little lesson. I'm going to take out, or you guys can take up a little sheet that looks like this. Well, unfolded, it's like the full sheet here. Go ahead and take that out. And this is supposed to be like a really easy rundown. Now, the pre-study, actually, I should probably do that first, right? Let me actually show you that. The pre-study survey, which Marcella, if you wouldn't mind popping that into the chat, but it is also in the email that I sent to you all when we first signed on. This one. Okay, so it should look like this when you're looking at it. And we just would like for you to kind of get like some of the basics written down. So the idea of how often do you struggle with sleep? And so you can just clickety click whatever you need to there, right? I'm going to have it clear because I don't need to record my thing. You're going to describe what type of sleep problem you're experiencing. The more descriptive, the better. Include your experience falling asleep, staying asleep, how deep of a sleep you get into, if you know, and then how fresh you feel when you wake and all those kinds of things. So this one, I want you guys to like take a minute and like actually fill it out because you'll be thankful later that you did. And then how severely do your sleep issues affect your day when they do occur? How long has it been a problem? How ready you are to change? And any other comments or questions that you think may be useful. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like when you do that. And if we could have you do that today before you begin using the samples tomorrow, that would be great, right? Well, I guess, I think we're actually having you, are we having you use it tonight? Marcella, correct me if I'm wrong. Are you supposed to use it tonight? Yeah, because then it would go Monday. I know I probably wrote this down somewhere so I could get it straight in my head. And now I'm like rethinking, how did I figure that out? Is
I
it
know on the sheet, it just says like day 1 is Monday and day
Yeah.
5 is Friday, but it
Okay.
depends like
that must
Yeah.
be what we
If you want.
figured out then. Okay,
Yeah.
because Friday
I
you
mean-
still have the whole day because Saturday is the post
Yeah.
orientate or the post study.
And they only have 5 LLVs, so that would be
True. Yep. Okay.
You want to
So
take it
we have it
after
worked out.
Monday.
Yep. All right. All right. Good. I'm gonna make a note so I don't have that question again. I'm gonna somehow like write that into my thing. Like, don't start tonight. Start Monday. And we will be sending you guys a little info tech, like a little, graphic, something interesting about one of the things that you're using as a reminder, so that as you can see, you have several things you have to remember to do, right? So it's the lifelong vitality supplements that are either with breakfast or lunch. You do want to take them with a meal. And then you also have the wild orange, which is able to be used throughout the day. In fact, some people, am I allowed to say this? Some people find that when you use the wild orange throughout the day, that it helps your body kind of like adjust to the circadian rhythm, so that when it becomes dark and it's time to sleep, your body kind of like already knows. So this is really, really great for insomnia. And remember, you can use this one internally as well as just aromatically if you like as well. And it does seem to be very good for handling a little bits of stress throughout the day as well. And the Serenity Soft Gel is the one that often gets forgotten. So if you can put this, well, really all of them, kind of think through now where you're planning to place these things, so that Monday through Friday you have enough of a routine, hopefully, that you can be like, oh, okay, here it is. It's morning time. I need to take this package with me, or whatever thing may be, so that you can have it with a meal. And then your Serenity Soft Gels, you're going to want to put those someplace that you will remember to take them roughly 30 minutes beforehand. Maybe that's next to your toothbrush because you are very consistent about brushing your teeth at night. Maybe if you're not super consistent about brushing your teeth, maybe you always, turn on music as you get ready to change into your jammies. So put it next to your music. I mean, think through what it is that you do typically and about 30 minutes before bed, and go ahead and plant this there so that it's a reminder for you. The Serenity, the actual essential oil, could also be located very, very close to the other one if you want to use it there as well. Or I typically put these at just on my bedside stand, right? So that whatever it is I'm setting them on, it's going to be, these two things are the last things I get used. And remember, you can mark throughout like however many times you use each of these throughout the day. We just want to track it. Okay, so but we're hoping that you can do roughly once or twice a day minimum for each of these things. Okay, so that's kind of a goal, just to kind of feel like you're giving it a good try. But I mean, if you go 6 to 12, like that's cool too. Like we're fine with that, but we do want to track it so that you can compare it to yourself. And all right, so we have the Serenity, and typically the location for this one, I think we actually wrote on there, is the Serenity would go in the middle of your hands. You rub together, cup them over your home. We actually did that just together in class here, right? So that should be pretty easy. Also, putting after you rub it into your wrist is another easy place, because Serenity happens to smell really good, and so it's no problem to remember to kind of like keep your hand next to your nose, maybe tucked up on your pillow as you sleep, so that you can continue smelling it as you drift off. The Vetiver is a little less enjoyable, but not terrible, right? So so that would be one that, and I do recommend make sure that you can see it coming out, right? You're going to want to roll some on your finger. If it's not coming out very, very easy, I always tell people, you stick your little fingernail in there and just kind of loosen up some of the plastic around there, so that you're getting it to kind of like loosen, so that more essential oil will come out when you roll. Okay, so and if it's not coming out, you might just have to take the top off or whatever, but we want you to get a good amount on your on the bottoms of both toes, and also just the bottoms of your feet. Okay, so we have the wild orange, the Vetiver, the Serenity gel caps, the things. Okay, I think have I covered it all? What questions do you guys have? Pretty good. Okay. All right. Hopefully no questions means I covered it well. Okay. So then from here, you guys are going to fill out your Google form. And in the morning, you're going to begin using your supplements. And again, I will send a couple reminders to you guys, but we'll use the supplements and then try to use the wild orange once or twice throughout the day, and then the Serenity and the Vetiver at night. Now you can decide if you want to try one or the other, the Serenity and Vetiver first, to see if that is a positive, if you have a really great reaction with just one, you might trade it out for something else next time or something like that, to kind of experiment and see what it is that works really well for you. Also, if you're still having trouble sleeping, the Serenity Soft Gel, you can up it to 2. So even though it's a 5-day study, I put 7 in here because some people, my husband, for example, feels that he needs 2 of them because he's a big guy. So if you need 2, if your physiology is different enough, then let's go ahead and get you what you need. The whole goal of this is to give you a positive experience and to help you find some solutions that are natural, so that you can be sleeping better, and then have something that's safer and cheaper and more affordable and effective and all those kinds of things than what we typically would be prescribed otherwise, right? So and then we're going to meet back on Saturday at 10, very similar to this. And at that time, we'll kind of do our post-study survey, go over a couple of things about how to get some of these things, and you guys will see what gift we have ready for you, and yeah, and then just kind of like a thanks for participating, kind of a fun little ceremony kind of thing. All right, I think that's it. Have I forgotten anything? Do you guys have questions? Okay, it's at 4:40.
I guess my one question is there do you want us to track anything throughout the week, or is it just the before and after?
Yeah, good
kind
question.
of assessment?
So I do plan, I'm going to connect with you guys individually, but I within the first 2 days, I plan to have a phone conversation with each of you, and I will schedule that phone conversation, and that's the time where you'd be like, I'm having trouble remembering my LLV. I'm not sure that my Vetiver is coming out of the bottle, like whatever things, we're just going to troubleshoot the first, but most likely Tuesday, I'll try to schedule with you guys for that. So that's kind of like a check-in, so to speak, but I am hoping that you guys will just like track it on your sheet. And then, hopefully also if you want to write some notes. Now the post-study survey will give you some space to kind of say like what you saw as a result. And since it's only 5 days, sometimes we do this as a 14-day study. And that's when I really have to make sure that people are like tracking each and every day. But I think for the 5-day, you guys will most likely be able to remember. I hope. Do you guys think? Hopefully it'll be okay. And then so you can make notes on here, like if you're doing the I slept amazing, or like, well, I still woke up twice, but it's better than the 4 times I usually do, or like whatever. So I will call and to be troubleshooting, and then I'll remind you guys again about the thing on Saturday. So, any other questions?
I did just want to mention with essential oils, just like with medications, just you know, if you go to a doctor and something doesn't work, you don't sit there and go, oh, that's it. I'm never using medication again. It doesn't work. It's kind of the same way. I mean, we say that and it sounds silly, right? But some people have that attitude with essential oils. Like they try an oil and they're like, this didn't work. Oils don't work. Forget it. Just if it doesn't work, be patient with us, because every one of us, our bodies are different. And so what may work great for Amanda might not always work great for me. Even with my pollen issues, you know, something that might work great for me and that I've been able to successfully help, you know, a number of people with, there could very well come a couple of people that are like, this is not working for me. So if you get through the 5 days and you're still like, I don't really think I saw any difference or something like that, we think you're going to see great results between the LLV and the Serenity. I think you will see at least some results, if not great results. But if you don't, just be patient with us and we'll keep trying different oils. But I really do think everyone's going to have good results.
Awesome. I totally agree. That's a very, very good point. Appreciate you bringing that up. Yeah. Great. All right, we're going to go ahead and I think and sign off then. And